Hello, what is up guys, this is Kyle from KGR doing a review on the Figma Lucina. Now this figure has just come out a few weeks ago and I haven't gotten to my review because I've been busy with other stuff. But you guys don't care, you want to know about this. So let's just get straight into it. A lot of people will be picking this figure up mainly for their Smash Brothers display, and I gotta say they chose a really good character to start with. I kinda wish they would've done Marth instead, but Lucina is still a very good character nevertheless, because it is also part of the new game Fire Emblem Awakening. And when it comes to these Figmas, they're always marked toward games that they're recently released in, other than Smash Brothers, which is a kind of a shame, but fine. Anyway, let's take a look at Lucina, like how's articulation, paint job, sculpt, blah blah blah. Like when you take a look at her, she actually looks absolutely incredible. The detail on her is actually really good. Her face, like her default face, is alright to me. Like I kind of wish they would have added more faces to her because it is just a little bit dull for me. But anyway, like her armor and stuff like that looks absolutely incredible. Her scabbard looks really nice. Her cape is really cool. I like how it's like two separate pieces and it has articulation and stuff like that. We'll be going over that a little bit later. The hair, the only thing I'm actually disappointed with the hair is the fact that it's so stiff, and the fact that this camera shot is so blurry. There we go. Anyway, the fact that this is not articulated kind of irritates me because the fact that you can't really move her head back all that much. You can only move it back so much, and here with Figma Asuna, here she had a little piece like right up here because of her hair, so they gave her a little Figma joint so it can move her hair freely. I kind of wish they would have been able to do something with her hair so you can move it around, stuff like that, and pose it so it could be like little wind effects, but unfortunately they couldn't do that, so that kind of makes me a little bit mad. The scabbard's nice, but unfortunately it doesn't really have much room for the sword. I will show you that shortly as well. And the figure is actually quite lacking in accessories for the price that it usually goes for. On eBay it's roughing about, let's say about $90 to $100 sometimes. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it is a popular character. Even the Figma, not the Figma, but the not the Nendroid either. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to talk. The Amiibo, that's right, the Amiibo is still going for quite a bit of money. I think that's like going for like 30 to 35 right now. Anyway, her paint job is absolutely immaculate. I cannot find anything wrong with the paint job. It looks absolutely great. And here, her cape thing is actually a loose piece, so if you want to take it off for some dumb reason, you can. So I will go over how that goes shortly. But anyway, let's go over the articulation. With most Figmas, the articulation is pretty much mostly the same. It's just that sometimes with these special figures, they make special other points, which, again, we already talked about. The cape has 2 points. Anywai, we got a ball jointed head, but unfortunately it is, well, I want to say ball jointed, but it has a Figma joint on the head, but unfortunately it is very limited. You can move it side to side if you want to. You can move it forward a little bit, but trying to move it back is pretty much near impossible. You can move it side to side a bit if you want, but this cape really hinders her articulation, unfortunately. Alright, and then we also get the little cape joints, and if I keep bumping the camera, I deeply apologize. Anyway, we got these little Figma joints right here, so they can go side to side. They also can go forward and back, which is really nice. I love how they give you that much articulation with it. That's really epic, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, then we got the universal shoulders, so they do go outwards, forwards, and backwards. And luckily, the cape does not hinder articulation at all, which is really good. We got the standard Figma joint, and it has probably about a 100-degree bend. Like, as much as I love Figmas, I kind of wish it had double jointed elbows, but alright. And if you want to move it side to side, you can. I just don't really recommend it too much, but there you go. Here, the right above the wrist, like right, this little cuff thing right here, that is on a swivel, so you can play with that if you want to, but personally I wouldn't recommend it, because you might as well just play with the wrist, which is actually one of the newer type of Figma joints, which is really nice. They kind of act like the Nendroid Sonic's wrist joints, where they're like a little ball peg swivel thing, which is really nice. And if they break, they always supply you with another one, which is really nice. But trying to get it out is probably going to be a pain. Luckily, I never had to experience that, but alright. Anyway, yeah, so it goes side to side, swivels, and then turns. Pretty much acts like a ball joint, but unfortunately it's not a legitimate ball joint. But with this kind of figure and the fact that it's a swordsman, I'm really happy they went with this choice of hands, because with Figma, what's the name, Kirito, yeah, Figma Kirito, I kind of wish he had these kind of joints because it would make posing him with the swords a little bit easier, but oh well, at least we got some more swordsmen with these type of joints. And then here we got a rocker in the torso, which is hidden really well in her dress, which is really excellent. Okay, and then we also get the movement of the legs. They go about this far forward, this far back. Great amount of motion, great articulation, and then she can pretty much do a split almost. It's pretty nice, but you had no need to put her in a split anyway. Okay, and I love how they didn't use the big fat ugly Figma joints for the knees, which is really nice. They can go back a little bit far, not too far back, but they treated it just like Link and had this curled up so it's not hindered, so that's excellent. And then the ankle joints are actually quite new. You can go forward and back and rock and stuff like that, but here they added a swivel to it, so it's kind of like the Play Arts, like the regular Play Arts Kingdom Hearts figures, like with Sora, where I can just move side to side and stuff like that. Hold on, I hope I can get this all on camera. Remember, the shadow was really making it not show up. But there you go. Now you can see it much better. Like it's a really cool looking joint. I'm pretty confident not too many other Figmas are going to be able to take advantage of this. The only reason why they can take advantage of this is because of how her shoe is designed. But still, it looks great. It functions extremely well. And we don't get a toe bend this time, so I'm not going to say that's bad, but I'm just so used to toe bends now, and the fact that it's not here is kind of weird. And it's about time we go over her accessories. Of course, every Figma is going to be coming with its Figma stand, which I absolutely love these things because they're really reliable and they come with every figure and they just pull off the job really well. Anyway, then we get an extra wrist joint. This is what I was talking about earlier. And it doesn't want autofocus, but it doesn't matter. You already know what the thing looks like. And then we get the Figma baggie, which I absolutely never use these things. And wow, I knocked her down. Oh. Anyway, let me show you how to hook her up on her stand because she doesn't have a simple plug in her back. Here, when you get this figure, it has this little plug-in right here that keeps the cape on. Hopefully you can see it right there. Yep. So you just simply pull that out. So there you go. You can just move that somewhere. And then you take this and you make sure everything lines up properly. And you just simply plug it in. Don't force it in too much. But there you go. It fits in super nice and snug. Remember Figma Aaron and any of the Attack on Titan figures, I believe, also had this type of setup. But unfortunately, if you didn't get it lined up right, you had to move it. And unfortunately, it grinded some of the paint away on his back. And it was really bad. So luckily, she doesn't have too much detail on her back. So there's not much paint to get rid of. She also has a face that makes her look to the side and grin and blush a little bit as well. There we go. Sometimes auto-focusing on the Logitech C920 is freaking terrible. A pair of sword-wielding hands, a pair of open hands, a pair of relaxed hands, and another sword-wielding hand that's made for a specific pose. We also have her sword, which looks absolutely amazing. The way that her sheath is made, here it's small so it looks good, but unfortunately it cannot hold the sword within, so they had to make a separate handle just dedicated to just looking good, I guess. Here they did this with the SH Figure Arts Sasuke as well, and I wasn't really too happy about it because I'd rather have this sword fit into the sheath, but design plans, I guess. So the way that it fits, it just take it and you just pop it in. It fits super snug, but it has to fit in a certain way though. Like it has to fit in like this way. You can't go the other way, as you just saw. So it looks really great. I wish it was a proper working sheath, not this. We also get a separate head with her short hair that you see in Fire Emblem Awakening, and it also comes with her little mask thing that you also see. Here, you can also use it like as a taunt in Smash Brothers, like it shows her with the mask. And God, the C920 is terrible at autofocusing. There we go, and it looks really good too, I'm not gonna lie. Like the hair detail is really great as well. If anything, you could try and make it pull off a Marth, but unfortunately the costume is actually different from Marth's, so you can't really lie. But anyway, what's really cool about this, here you can take off the front piece of the hair and then replace it with this one, and there you go. You're gonna have her wear the mask. And putting on the extra head is actually really easy as well. All you gotta do is just simply pop it off, and it's a Figma joint, so they come off real easily. Alright, then you pull off, take out the face, put it in the new head, put on the hairpiece, and simply pop it back on with ease. Getting her to hold her sword is not that hard either. The only thing I don't like about her holding her sword is here, the sword itself is actually quite big. Let me pull this out so I don't break the illusion. There we go. Here's the real sword. Anyway, what I don't like about the sword is here the handle is really big and the sword doesn't come apart, so you have to pretty much like spread her fingers and make it fit, and then once you do that it doesn't fit the same, so the sword will be quite loose. So it'll be loose in her hands and it just won't look that amazing. But luckily there's no slash effects or anything for her, so you don't have to worry about it being top heavy either. But the fact that it doesn't come with any more accessories is kind of disappointing, especially the fact that it's going for about $90 to $100 on eBay. But here on AmiAmi, it should be restocked now. It's probably going to cost you maybe $50 to $55 plus shipping, which is much better than paying like a $90 to $100. But still, for the price, it should have came with more accessories. But anyway, let me put this in her hand. Alright, so what we gotta do is we gotta pop off her hands, her fists. There we go. Looking good. Alright, then we're gonna get her sword wielding hands. I'm gonna get the one that actually holds the sword. I'm gonna get this one, and then I'm gonna get the other one that's actually made specifically for a pose. So I'll be pulling that off. Alright, so we're gonna pull it down just a tiny bit. I recommend like sliding it into her thumb and then sliding it into her hand so you don't warp it too much. But there you go. But anyway, this is the hand that I was talking about, the one where it has her pinky up a little bit. Trying to pull off this pose, I have a terrible time trying to pull it off because I'm just not good at doing it, I guess. I don't know. After spending like a half an hour trying to get this pose right, I can still never get the sword properly down. Like every time I try to get it down more, the hand just pops off and it's just irritating. But there you go, that's somewhat how you do that pose. So overall, what are my thoughts on this figure? Despite her flaws, like having her sword not be able to fit in her sheath, or the fact that her long hair is not articulated, so it really hinders the articulation, and the fact that you gotta warp her hands in order for you to make her hands actually fit onto the sword, and they end up being so loose that it barely holds on anyway. And although she's also lacking accessories for her price, I still think it's a great figure. So is it worth picking up this figure? That really depends on how much you're willing to spend. She's usually averaging about $90 to $100 on eBay, which I gotta say is a horrible price for the lack of accessories she's coming with and other stuff like that. She's mainly going for that much because they didn't make too many of her, and the fact that she makes a great Smash Brothers display. It's like anything Lucina you can't get for cheap. Not even a freaking amiibo. I almost want to say Nendoroid again. Whoops. But if you can find her for about 50 or 60, by all means pick it up, even though it is still lacking for the price. I still recommend this figure, even though I cannot stress that enough how it should have came with more. It really should have came with more, especially faces. It only comes with two faces, bitch face and this smiling face, which no one's ever going to use, by the way. And also her extra head, no one's going to use the short hair. They're going to be using her for the Smash display. But still, she needed some accessories, so there. So let me know in the comments, are you getting this for your Smash display, or do you want it because you're a Fire Emblem fan? Or just let me know, are you getting this figure as a whole? Are you willing to pay the $90 to $100? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, then don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tune in next time for another video. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter if you're not already, and I think I'll see you guys in the next one.